the subtotal. I said we can use it to
do some
access different functions. But now, so far, so good. We have only used what? Sum. So I want to use another function. And then each of these functions are expected to target your analysis question. So it is the question that actually determines whether you are to use sum or what? Count. Now, let's assume that we are asked to find out the total numbers of, we are writing that down as the second task now, and we're looking at the questions involved. Our second task with this subtotal is from the same payroll data sets, from the same payroll data sets, from same payroll data sets. How many employees do we have per department? How many employees do we have per department? So this is one key question we want to answer with the same subtotal. How many what? Employees we have per what? Departments. Then it will also answer the second question, which will be how many total employee or how many employees we have in the entire payroll data set. How many employees we have in the entire payroll data set? The entire what? Payroll data set. So you can see the direction of this question is different from the previous one. So this question will inform me which of the subtotal what function to use. Now look up, let me quickly apply it. So of course, we still have to, because I just opened this data now, so the values are not arranged. So the first thing I'm going to do is to highlight everything, then go back to my data tab, then sort by what? I'll sort by department, because the question still mention what? Department. So after that, while the entire data is still selected, I'll quickly go to my subtotal under what? Data tab. Then I'm still using change in, the same thing, which is what? Department. And then here I have to change this function to what? Count. And then I'll make sure that I check only the header where the value that will be counted are. You know, this is counting. I can use any header actually, because the same number of record I will have when I count based on status, I will also have when I count based on what? Grade. So you can actually choose any one. But because you are using just count that works with value, that works with integer, that works with integer, because we are not using count A, the one that can count what? Any type of integer. So we have to make sure that anyone we are choosing, it should be a type that have value or integer under it. Then I'll also specify this, and then I'll click OK. So let's see what that will bring out. So we have our, you can see it now, it's presenting what? Counting now instead of summary. We have 17 of them. Here we have what? 4. Here we have 15. Here we have 14. Here we have, then we can also check other reports. Now, if you look at the questions that we outlined, the first one says what? What do we want to achieve with the first one?
How many employees do we have per department?
That means that is a comparison analysis, right? Now, let's check it here. Let's check it in. In one, is answering the last question. What was the last question? In the entire good. So this one I've answered that question, right? Now let's go to 2. 2 is answering our first question, which says what?
How many employees per department?
Good, per department. Good, exactly. So I can highlight this and then go to what? Sort. I will just use this and see if it will work, but you see that sorting here is a kind of impossible because of the system we are working with. So I think with this, we have used two words, function. So what I would advise us to do, you begin to explore other functions based on the scenario, the analysis tasks given to you. That will determine whether you are to use standard deviation or to use what? Products or to use what? Minimum. Depends on where it makes sense. Just go there and apply it for application sake. It must tally with one of your analysis tasks. So you can see.
So I have a question, please.
Okay.
Do they have number 3 in those various sheets by the left side where they have 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
No. That number 3. Is there any result there?
Yeah, there's a result. Result is the main one, the one that lists if you want to count maybe by yourself now, you can do the manual counting 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
5, 6, 7. You know that. That is how you.
Okay. Another question I have, sir. Sorry. Why does it, first of all, number 1 answers the second one first? Is there any reason why it must be in that way?
No. There's no reason. There's no reason. You are not is a function that is actually doing the analysis, the AI. That function is like high-level AI. So it's the one doing everything. Your own is just to supply the required data, the parameter, the argument. Then the whole thing is left for him to determine how it presents your pages, whether it should present this one with this one. But mostly the first one is always for the total, for the ground analysis. Why this one is for, the list of the unique value as against their value. Then this one will give you more detail. This one is more detailed. This one allows you to see those records, not just seeing the results.
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, I wanted to show something here. Look up here, sir. Now, let's assume that you are in this sheet 2, and you don't want to go there to get the breakdown. If you click on this plus under audit, you can expand it. This is the report the other one was giving us, number 3 was giving us. So, but this one that I expanded, I only expanded it on the audits. So it only listed out only what? Audits detail. But I'm still lifted other ones. You can see other ones here. So you can still go there as okay. I also want to expand what? Compliance. So you go and click on it to see it. So you can determine which one. But instead of this expansion, you don't want to just use this one.
Okay.
Just use 3. But if you are in 2, you can also what? Individually expand maybe just to have a kind of a concentration.
Comparison.
And concentration. You don't want other one to distract you. So that is why you may want to get a detail from sheet 2 using what? The expansion button. So I can also collapse it here. You can expand and then you can also what? Collapse it. You can collapse the entire one. If I collapse here now, that means what? I have gotten what? The report I had in what? In 1. So which means that what? Both 1 and 2 in this case, they are presenting the same report. But if I'm in 2 and I click here, then I can what? Get it back. So we stop here. So like I said, go and play around other functions on your own. But the major one we use most time are the sum, the count, probably check the minimum. So who can tell us what minimum we do? Minimum, if I'm to, supposing it's minimum that I choose here, look up. If it's minimum that I choose here, is the minimum value that it will to bring out under each of this category. Maybe you just want to see the minimum value under what? Audits to bring it here. The minimum value under what? Then the maximum also. So there are other analysis tasks you can perform. So your assignment is to play around them. And then, by the grace of God, by next week, we should be focusing on more advanced Excel AI function. So once we have, that is going to actually be the last function in Excel. But that function will take us to different sub-functions that we cannot even finish in one class. And that is one of the main reasons why Excel is recommended for data analysis. It's the highest function in Excel for data analysis. So we'll start each journey next week, Saturday, by the grace of God. So I just want to make sure that we finish Excel very well this month, and then start introduction to Python. Then probably we will go on the break for Python. So when we come back, we complete Python. Then we'll now move to SQL for Power BI. That is the order we follow here.
Okay.
So hopefully, when is our 6-month program for us to elapse? We have not used up to 2 months. Still have time. Out of 6 months. So after this, just for you guys to bear it in mind, after the whole of this Excel, you are going to be given a project. You get a different data set, or even they can prefer different data sets. Then I will see how you will be able to analyze different questions, analysis questions with all the functions we must have done so far. And then you present them one after the other. Now, please, for this assignment, your work does not end on this technical aspect. It's not just the assignment I'm giving you now to go and apply this subtotal now. It may not be this data, you can get a better data. But at the end of the day, after your output, please write out your observation and your recommendation. You know how to use PowerPoint, present them with PowerPoint. So part of, I think we have done something like that before. I told us that analysis does not just stop at you displaying the figure. You need to draft out your observation. Like this one now. You should be able to tell us what this outcome is. What are your observations? Why is this one having 42? Definitely that is a higher trend, followed by what? The marketing. And then you write down your observation, and where necessary, you want to recommend anything, you also note it down. So these are what I'm going to be expecting from your assignment next week on this topic. Not just showing me your work like this. I would like to see where you have documented your findings, your observation, and if possible, recommendation. So is everything clear now? Can we stop here? Hope the assignment is the assignment is clear for what we have to do. You can choose another data set, or better still, if you are using this, but I would advise you choose another data set so that you can have different view. Very important, instead of using one particular data set all the time. To expand your creativity, you need to get different data. All right, so if there's no question, then we end it here.
All right. Thank you, sir.